Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined with Southern University at New Orleans head coach Jason Connor. Coach Connor, we're glad to be here with you today. Thanks so much for granting us this interview. And we just wanted to talk to you about the season. We'll jump right into it. Preseason rankings came out in late October. Your colleagues voted SUNO dead last in 7th place in the preseason. How do you use that? Does it put a chip on your shoulder? Do you use it as motivation? What do you say to your student athletes after that?
Sam, thanks for having me. You've been great, and so anytime we can help, never hesitate to ask. To answer your question, sometimes you can, a lot of times those things motivate those kids on their own. And a lot of times I don't have to stoke that fire. I know that I'm more concerned in staying between ball and basket, giving them no transition baskets, giving them no uncontested shots, giving them no second shots. I'm more concerned about those things. I don't think that you can coach motivation. I think that your kids have to bring that. Basketball's a long season, and your goal is to try to continue to improve, not only individually, but more importantly, collectively in the responsibilities and how you play the game of basketball. And that's what we're focused on and what we're trying to accomplish there.
Now, you talk about coaching motivation. You talk about that toughness. And for so long, that was SUNO's calling card. Now, SUNO's women's basketball team hasn't been to a GCAC championship. They have not been a contender since 2015. How do you, and I know you say you can't coach it, but how do you get back to that toughness? How do you get back to that edge that made them such a force to be reckoned with?
I think you have to recruit that. And then I think that the young ladies have to believe in each other, and I think they have to believe in the process of what, and that's a word that everybody's kind of using now, but for a lack of a better word, that's what we do. There's these things go far beyond between the lines. How you handle your business in the classroom, how you handle your business in housing, how you handle your business on campus, how you handle your business in any area of your life, all comes back to what we are trying to do as a program, as a team. And in today's world, everything is quick. We want fast food. We want satisfaction now. And I know, and anybody that's got a little age on them and a little gray hair, good things don't come overnight. It takes a process. It takes a period of time to not only learn how to play together and learn a system of play, how to attack a zone, how to attack a man, how to attack full pressure, how to attack half-court pressure. It takes time, and then you have to believe in that system, and then believe in your teammates that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. You go back and you say, hey, do your job and do it well, and that's where we are. And right now we start off quick. Certainly, our system of play might have been a little better against those teams. It was early in the year. Now we have to continue to show improvement, and I've been very pleased with our effort. And I was a little disappointed last night in our bunch. We have not quit. We have fought to the final buzzer, and those are things. That's a toughness that we have to rely on and have to have. This is kind of a phrase that we always use: execution plus toughness equals success. So you have to be able to execute your stuff and execute it well. And then toughness is not physical toughness necessarily, even though it is, but toughness is doing your job when you don't want to do it and doing it well. And getting the young ladies now to believe in that and fight through that and get to the point where we give ourselves a chance to win every night, and then you learn how to win. It's a process of developing a championship program.
Now you talk about process. You to go back to this concept of mental toughness. You're in your first year now. You've got 27 plus years of experience here in your first year here at SUNO. How do you manage that? You guys are 6 games in. You're 2-4. How do you manage the frustration? How do you manage kind of the fraying now? Because it is a lot more difficult to coach when you're kind of behind the 8 ball.
Oh, no question.
How do you manage that?
Well, not only do I have to manage it mentally and emotionally, but I have to help those girls manage that mentally and emotionally. And I mean, the games that we've played, and this is to the just the average fan or supporter or however you want to look at it, all they see is the ball going up and 2 teams playing. Right now, Mississippi College is a fully funded NCAA Division II university, and we played for them in our prep work. We played for them, and then they made some changes and changed the momentum of the game. We continued to fight, and I thought I was pleased with our effort that night. But again, they were better than we were. They were bigger than we were. They were physically so, and I thought our girls fought it. When we go to McNeese State, people don't understand they're a fully funded NCAA Division I university. So we're also taking on teams that are, at the end of the day, have more money, have more scholarships, have more humans on the team. They're just better. And that's not saying our kids aren't in a position to be competitive, but they're fighting with a smaller, shorter stick, so to speak. So, and I think that we competed well there. Now you have to maintain a mental advantage saying, hey, we've got to worry about what we do and continue to do what we do and do it well. And now when we get back into league play, folks that are a little more like us, then that effort and that work and that consistency and that toughness will pay off.
And let's talk a little bit, Coach, about, obviously, for anyone that has transitioned from high school to college, there is as you said, a process. It's difficult. It's harder in the weight room. It's a faster game. It's tougher opponents. And
the game's faster.
The game's faster. You're competing against better athletes in many cases. How do you prepare your athletes for that, coming out of high school and coming into, again, a faster game, a tougher program, higher expectations?
Well, so often you go back to the fundamentals of the game, and you dictate those things. Defensively, we try to make ourselves faster because we have a process of play there. We have a system of play. We're not just hoping. We are trying to dictate play, which makes us faster. It makes us more of a unit. And last night I was disappointed about that because we don't let the ball dribbled over the top. We work on it every day. And they dribbled over the top at will. And so now you have to go back and you have to watch film and you got to say, hey, what happened now when it wasn't happening earlier? So that might maybe go back to just that mental toughness and a stick-to-itiveness and trusting the process, trusting the system, And that's another thing, that these kids are being introduced to a whole new and probably more basketball than they've ever been introduced to before. And you can short circuit and say, oh, there's just too much. But again, I think I keep telling them this: once you commit to this, you're never going to want to play any other way. I mean, in other words, you know now what you're looking for, and if somebody's not doing all the little things that you've learned to do, you're like, hey, we got to play it this way. And again, it's not necessarily my system. These are things, bits and pieces. I mean, I watch a lot of basketball, and at the pro level, at the Division I level, men's and women's, and I think that our girls, and a lot of times they don't watch basketball, and but if they would, and I've encouraged them to do so, hey, these are the things that you guys are doing. These are the things that we're teaching you to do. So guys a lot of times watch it, and they dream it, and they think it, and they put themselves in that position constantly. So they're more mentally, emotionally ready for those things. Women are probably, they're a whole lot smarter than we are and more mature, and they say, okay, my academics are important. And those are things that we've talked about too. We want an overall team GPA of a 3.0. That's strong. That's strong. But right now we're in that mode of making that happen. But again, the girls seen it and seen other people do it, and we're working on our film stuff. There's some things that we don't have in place that we're trying to get into place to be able to watch film and to teach in those regards. So again, it just goes back to believing in what we're trying to do and accomplish, and then you've got to have little successes along the way. And I've been pleased to date. Last night I was disappointed, and I thought we played well first half, and game plan was, but then I don't know, mental lapse here, oh, we're gonna, we gotta fight through that and take each quarter as individual games and be successful in those. Well, it gets back to every trip, offensively and defensively, every possession.
It's interesting that you bring this up because you may be a fundamentalist. You're working on the fundamentals. You're working on the very basic skills of basketball. And by the time athletes get to you, to the level that you're at, they haven't had that on the primary level. They haven't had it on the peewee level. A lot of times they haven't had it on the secondary level. They haven't had it in high school. And a lot of it is style over substance, right? So they are, they're mimicking kind of flashy things, but
Exactly.
the fundamentals aren't there.
Exactly.
And you have to go back to that, right?
I agree, and this is college, and then you even see it at the pro level when you the pressure, the expectation of people for success is so great and sometimes skewed, Sam, that all of a sudden we don't get the opportunity to rely on the fundamentals and to live and work and play within those things. You get your best talent and you let them go. And so often that is detrimental in the long run to the student athlete. So those things, and that's an administrative situation. That's just, that goes bigger and beyond what you and I are talking about, trying to teach some kids